Hello guys, my name is Rudwaj and welcome back to my channel Geo Valley. So after so many days, I am really sorry that after so many days, after so long gap, I am uploading this video. Welcome to my channel again, and in the today's video, we are going to learn a new concept, which we can say it is a subtopic to support one big topic, that is igneous petrology. Okay, so today we are going to look into Bowen's reaction series. This is not new for all of you, all the students who are watching my video right now, but this is basic concept which every geology student should know, okay, to understand the igneous processes, how igneous rocks are forming, how they are getting diversified within the system, within the magma chamber, and what is the sequence of minerals which are getting crystallized during the formation of an igneous rock. Okay, so now remember that two things you need to remember: igneous petrology okay. So before watching this video, this concept, before learning this concept, you need to go through igneous petrology video. Okay, igneous petrology is very important because this concept is totally and completely related to igneous processes. So that is why I am recommending you watch any igneous petrology video. Even I have uploaded my igneous petrology on my channel under the playlist petrology. There are 3 videos by now. One is igneous petrology, sedimentary petrology, and metamorphic petrology. But the problem is the igneous petrology video which I have uploaded, it is in Marathi language. So that was my first video on my channel. So after that I started uploading my videos in Hindi and English language, because outside Maharashtra people started commenting that we are not getting what you are teaching. Okay, so that is why I started after this. So this only one exceptional video on my channel is in Marathi language. Okay, so as I said, Bowen's reaction series, this topic is very important to understand igneous processes. You go through igneous petrology. Second thing, you go through mineralogy topic, and under mineralogy, not all the concept of mineralogy, only you need to study important rock forming mineral groups. So there are some mineral groups, some rock forming mineral groups we study to which are very important to study overall geology or overall petrology, not only igneous, even sedimentary and metamorphic. When we study these topics are very important. Okay, now Bowen's reaction series, we will come to the main topic. Okay, so just remember that igneous petrology, you just go through some basic concepts of igneous petrology. What is magma differentiation, what is magma, how rocks or igneous rocks form from the magma or from the lava. Okay, so solidification process, cooling processes, what is exactly happening during the cooling of the magma or crystallization of the rock. The both are same concept, right? Cooling of magma is giving rise to crystallization, and crystallization giving rise to formation of igneous rock. Okay, so everybody should know that we call igneous rock as primary rocks also, and sedimentary rock are secondary rock. Now why we call igneous rocks as primary rock? Because they are crystallizing directly from the magma. Okay, there is one magma chamber, and from that magma chamber cooling process is happening, and the result of that cooling is igneous rock. Okay, so from magma to directly rock, conversion is directly to the rock is called primary process, because it is forming directly rock from magma. Okay, so that is why we are calling igneous petrology as igneous rocks as primary rocks also, and secondary rocks are sedimentary, because secondary rocks, how they form everybody know, but how they form: weathering of pre-existing rocks, weathering, erosion, and deposition in the other place. Okay, not in the same place, other place. again there is a classification in the sedimentary rock then. Okay, so I don't want to go in detail in sedimentary petrology right now, because today we are going to focus on Bowen's reaction series. I thought this should be done before starting the video. Okay, igneous petrology and mineralogy, rock forming mineral groups. Okay, these two are important terms before watching this video, so you go through all these two concepts before watching this. Okay, so now by the name only you came to know that this is one some kind of series. Okay, now why I am saying series? Okay, so I will tell you the important significance or importance of this to study this series. Okay, now first important thing we are going to analyze by studying this series. You can see two different series on the board, on the left hand side and right hand side, and again where they are amalgamating in one point. From there we have three minerals. Okay, this is related to crystallization of magma. Okay, how suppose one magma chamber is there and rocks are going to form. Okay, now the process is on the way. Okay, suppose the rocks are getting crystallized, or the minerals are getting crystallized from the existing magma chamber. Okay, there is a magma chamber and rocks are getting formed. Okay, so first question which may get in your mind is which mineral will form first, right? So which is the first mineral that will be formed in that magma chamber? So according to this series, now this series is telling you that the same thing. Okay, which mineral is getting formed first. Okay, but the other thing, important thing, is the magma chamber must be having the elements which are important to form particular mineral. Now suppose we are considering olivine. Okay, so in that magma chamber there is no Mg or Fe, then olivine cannot be formed, right? So according to the elemental or chemical composition of that magma, the composition of the rocks which are getting formed, which will be formed because of this magma, will be decided. Okay, so the first thing, I will discuss about the left hand side. Okay, you all know the important rock forming mineral groups. Okay, so there is olivine group, there is a feldspar group, then amphibole group, then pyroxene group, mica group. Okay, now you will say why only these minerals are important? There are plenty of minerals we are getting in the earth crust or on the earth, we can say, but why only these minerals we are considering? There are other minerals also, like staurolite is there, then some accessory minerals are there, but they are there in the igneous rock in very less quantity. That is why we can neglect, we can ignore them. Okay, so there is a IUGS classification of igneous rock. In that, if you see, if we take granite, then for granite, if in any particular granite there is no olivine, there is no need to present that particular mineral, that is olivine, to in that particular granite, to call it granite, right? So that mineral we can just ignore. Okay, so according to the mineral composition we are naming that rock, right? So the magma chamber, the composition of magma chamber, chemical composition should support the process which is going to form a new rock. Okay, no matter it is felsic rock, it is mafic rock, it will depend upon the magmatic composition, chemical composition of that magma, or the magma which is formed due to the parent rock. So composition of parent rock here also we can consider. Okay, we should consider. Okay, now left hand side we have olivine, pyroxene, amphibole, mica. So this is called discontinuous series, and this is continuous. Okay, we have two series, one is discontinuous, one is continuous. Now this sequence is telling you that which mineral will be formed first in the magma, means during the process of crystallization of rock or formation of rock. So here if we see, there is a magma chamber and it started crystallizing. The first crystal it will form is olivine, because olivine is having Mg and Fe in the composition. So magnesium and iron. So that is why olivine will form first, because the melting point of olivine is much higher than the melting point of quartz. So the minerals which are present in the top layer are having high melting point. Okay, so they will form at high temperature. As magma starts cooling, suppose the magma is here. Okay, suppose magma is at 2000 degree Kelvin. Okay, now magma start cooling. Suppose this magma started cooling. Now first it will come to 1800 degree Celsius, degree Kelvin or degree Celsius. Okay, here this magma will form olivine, because melting point of olivine is 1800 degree Celsius. That is why olivine will be the first mineral which is forming from that crystallizing magma, right? So similarly it will go ahead 1400 suppose degree Kelvin, it will form pyroxenes. Okay, because pyroxenes, melting point of pyroxene group of minerals is lower than the olivine. That is why as the magma started cooling from the 2000 degree Kelvin towards the lesser and lesser temperature, these minerals will be forming olivine, pyroxene. After that amphibole will form. After that micas will be forming. After that K feldspar, muscovite and quartz. Now this is called discontinuous series. Now you will get an idea how rocks, means how the minerals are getting crystallized, by what sequence, means what sequence they are following to generate igneous rock, right? So this is discontinuous series, this is continuous series. So as we are decreasing the temperature of magma, we are getting different minerals which are crystallizing in our final rock. Okay, so if you get any rock in your hand, suppose you are getting granite, so you can just observe the rock, you can identify the minerals under the thin section or hand specimen. You should be able to tell that which mineral must have formed in the first stage of magma cooling and which will be the last. So quartz is forming in the last stage, because the melting point of quartz is around 700 degrees Celsius, degree Kelvin or degree Celsius. Okay, so quartz is having least temperature here. Okay, now I will tell you some interesting thing about quartz after the in the end of this lecture. Okay, so now we will come to continuous series. Okay, so we have covered olivine, pyroxene, amphibole, micas, K feldspar. Here we have mentioning K feldspar, that is orthoclase or microcline. Okay, after that muscovite quartz. So you may have the question that all the rock forming minerals are covered except plagioclase, and plagioclase is also the very important mineral in the igneous rocks, right? Either it is mafic or felsic. So in felsic rock like granite we are having plagioclase. Then mafic rock like basalt is the very prominent mafic rock in our earth, right? So in basalt also we are getting the plagioclase as a major phase, right? So plagioclase is very important in any igneous process or igneous rock, right? So that's why we are putting the plagioclase in separate series and we are naming it continuous, because we know what is the formula of plagioclase? Plagioclase has calcium and sodium in it. So according to the melting point, the composition of plagioclase will be changing. Okay, now we can see here it is starting from albite to anorthite. Now we know that anorthite is calcium rich feldspar, that is calcium rich plagioclase. We cannot say feldspar here, because feldspar, if we say it contains K feldspar also. Now we are talking only about the plagioclase. Now this all the things, all the minerals are comes under the plagioclase series. Okay, this is plagioclase series. This is all the major minerals of plagioclase. Okay, so it is starting from albite to anorthite. Anorthite is calcium rich, okay, Ca, and albite is sodium rich. Okay, I will just clear this one so that I can write. I think this concept you understood very well. If any doubts, please put in the comment box. Okay, so albite is sodium rich. Okay, and what is the formula for plagioclase? NaAlSi3O8, right? This is the formula for albite, and CaAl2Si2O6. Just check the formula whether I have written in correct formula or not. Okay, just confirm it. The point is here, I just want to tell you that albite is rich in sodium and anorthite is rich in calcium. Okay, so calcium rich plagioclase, which is anorthite, is having high melting point with compared to the albite, which is having sodium in it, right? So that is why we are comparing the anorthite with the olivine. So this is at same height. Okay, I have not written in the same height because plagioclase is having six different minerals, and here we have only 4 names. That is why this balance is imbalanced. Okay, but the olivine and anorthite is at the same height. Okay, so just consider it as same melting point. Both of the minerals are having same melting point, right? So anorthite is having the melting point of more than 1500, we can say. That is why we are comparing this in the first row. We are comparing the anorthite with the olivine from the discontinuous series. Okay, so suppose there is a calcium, there is a sodium, there is a silica, there is a oxygen, everything is present in the magma chamber, and the plagioclase is the next expected mineral which will be forming in the magma chamber. Then anorthite will be the first mineral which will develop from the magma. Okay, so suppose anorthite is getting formed and separating from the liquid. Now anorthite has formed, it is in the crystal form. So now that melt is different and crystals are different, right? So suppose, but it is present in the same phase right now. Okay, so suppose because of this magma chamber, or because of this high temperature liquid magma, this early formed crystals are getting melted again. Okay, so once they get melted again, they modify their composition. Now the initially formed anorthite will get converted into bitonite, then it will again converted into labradorite. This is when this will happen, when the magma chamber, the temperature of magma chamber is decreasing. Okay, because this is forming at high temperature, right? And this is, as we come down from top, like anorthite to albite, the magma chamber or the temperature of magma is getting decreased. So that is why, and we know that crystallization process means cooling of magma, right? Unless and until that there is no cooling process involved in the magma chamber, we don't get any crystal or any rock. It will stay in the magma stage only. Okay, so that is why this process is important, this sequence is important to study. Suppose you are having one rock and observing under the microscope, and you analyze that rock geochemically, and you are getting anorthite content more in that slide. So what you can interpret from this slide, or by looking at that plagioclase, since that is very rich in anorthite content, it must have formed during the high temperature magma. Okay, so it is so there are many possibilities. Either it has formed in the deep mantle, or deep crust, because due to the geothermal gradient it will have higher temperature, right? So there are many possibilities. So the interpretation part is later, but just you can say that this rock has formed in during the high temperature, very high temperature, because anorthite is present in the rock, or anorthite is the major phase within the plagioclase in that particular rock. Okay, and if you are getting albite in more quantity within the plagioclase, then you can say the magma chamber has crystallized, or the rock has been crystallized in the geological past during low temperature. Okay, so this is the importance of Bowen's reaction series. And Bowen, this is a scientist, he has given this concept in early 1900s, something before 1950 only. But okay, so this was the today's topic, and if you have any doubts related to this today's topic, please ask in the comment section. And I did not talk much about discontinuous series, because discontinuous series is having a different type of minerals. Okay, these are different minerals from different mineral groups, right? So olivine is a mineral from olivine group. Pyroxenes are having different minerals in the group, like we have augite, we have enstatite, then we have hypersthene. Okay, so there are many different type of minerals, and according to their mineral composition, we can tell that this particular mineral must have formed during the crystallization or at the higher temperature or lower temperature. Okay, because we know one more thing, you just remember, if the rock is rich in Mg and Fe, or sorry, not rock, if any mineral is rich in Mg and Fe, it has formed in higher temperature. Okay, during high temperature. Oppositely, if the rock is rich in SiO, like felsic, okay, these are felsic, and we know felsic rocks like granite, these rocks are formed at much lower temperature, because they are having much lower melting point. Like quartz is having 700 degree Kelvin. Okay, this I forgot. First consider this. Okay, Mg and Fe rich minerals are having high temperature or high melting point, and SiO2, that is felsic minerals like granite, felsic minerals like quartz, feldspar, K-feldspar, not a plagioclase. Again, if I say plagioclase, then again I have to mention that whether it is anorthite or albite, because you see there is a large range. Okay, olivine we can compare with the anorthite, and here mica we can compare with the albite. So there is a large range in between. Okay, so when you say plagioclase, precise the particular mineral. Okay, not only plagioclase. So somebody can ask you, if plagioclase is present, then this rock is formed at what temperature? Okay, approximately what temperature? So you cannot tell them that range. Okay, so you should know that the plagioclase was rich in anorthite or albite. So according to that, you can just reduce your range of answer. Okay, that is very important here. Okay, so mafic rocks are formed at the higher temperature than as compared to the felsic rocks, which are granite. Okay, granite is formed at lower temperature, remember. Okay, now when these two discontinuous and continuous series are coming together in this point, here we have K-feldspar. Okay, here I will just draw one line of temperature. This line you consider. Okay, this is increasing temperature. This is 700. Here we have quartz at 700 degree Kelvin, and this is 1800 degree Kelvin. Okay, so this temperature range also you need to remember, that if you are having granite, then the magma or the rock which formed from that particular magma in the geological past must have formed in this temperature range. Okay, you can tell the range 700 to 1000. It is so granitic magmas are formed in between 700 to 12,000 something. Okay, so after 12,000 up to 1800 degrees Celsius, mafic, ultramafic, these rocks are getting formed. Okay, so depending on the temperature, we can tell that which rock is getting crystallized from that particular magma. Okay, So this is all about the sequence of minerals which are getting crystallized from the magma in any magma chamber and any type of rock. Okay, so so Bowen's reaction series is helping us to boost our knowledge of igneous petrology and igneous processes. Okay, so I should use the word igneous processes. This word is important because these are the processes, because this is not the already formed rock. We are not talking about the rock, we are talking about the process or the series of that reactions or the process of forming the rock from the magma. So this process we are talking about. Okay, so that is more important, and this series will help you to gain some knowledge about the igneous processes. Okay, now here in the last we can see quartz is getting crystallized. Here I showed some temperature decreasing or the mineral changing, the changing phases of mineral as the temperature is decreasing. Okay, so in the last stage, when the temperature will come to 700 and around 700, we are getting quartz here. Okay, so up to 900 or 800 all the crystals has been formed except quartz. Okay, so the remaining liquid or remaining magma will be rich in quartz. Now at this moment I will at this point I will tell you some important thing. We are getting the veins in the granitic rocks or any type of rocks. We are getting veins, and those are mostly felsic in nature, right? Because quartz, okay, the rock has been formed up to 800, all the important rock forming minerals has been crystallized by now. Now this rock has been formed and remaining melt is rich in quartz. We know this is silica, okay, rich in silica, because it has not yet crystallized due to its lower melting point, right? Now what this quartz will do, this quartz will intrude wherever it is getting fractures or weak zones. Okay, and that intrusion we are calling veins. Okay, we can see on the road cuts, on the river cutting, on the vertical section of river. Okay, so we can see these quartz veins, and most of the times these veins are felsic in nature, like quartz, then pegmatites. Pegmatite is means felsic only, right? So it is remaining liquid. The veins are forming from the remaining liquid, and remaining liquid is most of the times quartz because of this process. Okay, so this process is important to understand the igneous processes. And okay, one more thing, I have uploaded that igneous petrology video in Marathi language. So I will try to upload the same video on igneous petrology. All the basic concepts are cleared. I have tried to clear actually. Okay, so I will try to make the same video again in the English and or Hindi language. Okay, so yeah, so that's it for today. And if you have any doubts, please ask in the comment section, and stay connected. And if you are new and watching my video for the first time, please do subscribe for the more geological videos. And for today, bye bye.